Hello student, as you know civil service preliminary examinations will be held on 4 October and many of my students are asking repeatedly how we should prepare for preliminary GS economy. Today I will take certain example as UPSC asking these questions in previous paper so that you can understand the strategy and methods by which you can complete your GS economy in shortest time period by dividing in two parts, that is current GS economy and traditional economy. As I discussed in my previous lecture that your current GS economy should be completed by economic survey, budget and newspaper like the Hindu, Economic Times, Business Standard, etc. If you go through my lecture and join my lecture, then you can do it very easily. I take now previous year certain questions which have been asked by UPSC before 2019. I taking one questions asking in civil service exam 2010, and the question is consider the following pair regarding Indian economy, and first pair they given, that is melt down, and the pair of melt down was fall in the stock prices, fall in the stock prices. Second pair they are asking recession, and this recession pair with fall in the growth rate, fall in the growth rate. And third pair they given, that is slow down, slow down, slow down, giving fall in the GDP or fall in the gross domestic product. Now all the terminology seems similar and you will always confused when you respond these type of question. Why you will confused? Because you doesn't know the basic concept of this terminology and theory related to these terminology. But if you know about certain concept of macroeconomy like aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and on x-axis I represent three variable, that is output, employment and national income. As you know, this is aggregate supply curve, this is aggregate demand curve, where these two curves are intersecting at E point determine the level of employment, output or national income, and on y-axis it will determine general price level. What is the condition of meltdown? If due to decreasing aggregate demand, what is the meaning of aggregate demand? Decrease in consumption as well as investment. If consumption is decreasing, means demands of the goods in the market will decrease. That will discourage the company to produce more, means company will reduce their output because of decreasing demands of their product. If the demand is decreasing, means price of the product will decrease, means per share profit also decrease. Suppose it does, means what? Company also reduce their production, and hence the aggregate supply also shift from AS to AS dash with decreasing aggregate demand, and now the economy will in equilibrium at E dash point, where both what? General price level is decreasing. Output, employment and national income also decreasing. Now you are clear. During this meltdown, what happened in an economy? Aggregate demand will decrease, which decrease the aggregate supply, and hence the equilibrium of the economy will shift downward to E dash, where level of employment, output and national income will decrease with decreasing level of general price level. In this way, all concept now you can clear with this picture, and you can now give the right response. How? Now I elaborate. Meltdown means what? This is the condition of meltdown. If company, just you consider company product demand is decreasing, then definitely profit of the company will decrease. Decreasing profit will decrease per share dividend. Per share dividend will decrease, and hence the price of share or stock, prices of share or stock will decrease. It means first pair is right. No confusion. Second, recession, fall in the GDP, fall in the growth rate of GDP. GDP growth rate can be fall because of multiple causes. And when it is completed with decreasing price, then you can say this is recession. But this is not a right explanation. Only half of the explanation, and growth rate can fall because of multiple causes, not only because of recession. This means this is wrong. Fall in the GDP, definitely in slowdown GDP fall, but with decreasing level of employment and price, which is incomplete answer. It means this is also wrong. Only first response is right. Now, student, you are clear by taking one example which I discussed just now, that which pair is right. If you are clear about the concept, theory and its correlation, then you can find out easily answer of this question. This is the method. How will you tackle your preliminary question? I take second example, which is also asked by UPSC from first topic of GS economy, that is national income. And the question asking in 2010, I explain this question with reference to Indian economy. Consider the following statements, and there were the two statements. Number first, the gross domestic product has increased by 4 times in last 10 years. The first statement was the gross domestic product or GDP increased 4 times in last 10 years. Second statement they given, the percentage share of public sector in GDP declined in the last 10 years. The percentage share of public sector in GDP during last 10 years decline consistently. Now, that kind of questions can be done with common sense. Just you consider during 2002 2010 our GDP increased 4 times. No. If you know about the data 1951 to 1991, our GDP increased round about 4.5 times during this 50 years. 42, 51 to 90, these round about 40 years. And is it possible only 10 year our GDP will increase 4 times? No. It means this statement is wrong. If you apply your common sense on this second statement, the percentage share of public sector in GDP during last 10 years declining consistently, this is right, due to privatization policy of the government of India. And as we know, privatization decreasing the number of public sector industries, reservation policy completely de-reserved by the government. In present only two industries are reserved for the public sector, namely atomic energy and railway. Rest of the sector open for the private entity. It means only this statement is right. After then they given 4 options. Only 1 is right, only 1 and 2 is right, only 2 is right, 2 none of the above. This only 2 is right. That kinds of question can be done on the basis of common sense. And if you have certain information regarding GS economy. Third questions I am taking from 2011. In the context of Indian economy, consider the following statement. And first statement, the growth rate of GDP has steadily increased in last 5 years. First statement is the growth rate of GDP, the growth rate of GDP increased consistently during last 5 years. Question asking in 2000 civil service exam 2011. It means they are asking this time period 2000, this is 6 to 2011. These 5 years. Now, if you have certain information regarding this period, then you can do these questions very easily. Second statement, the growth rate in per capita income has steadily increased. The growth rate in per capita income steadily increased during these 5 years. Now you can consider if during these 5 years the GDP growth rate increased consistently, then definitely per capita income will increase consistently, because population growth rate since 2001 onward decreasing consistently. It means if GDP is increasing, then definitely per capita income is increasing. But this is the time period of recession. You should clear. As we know, during 2006 and 7, during 2007 and 8, our growth rate was 9% plus. But during 2008 and 9, our growth rate suddenly this year was 9.4, this year was 9.2, and this year 6.7. Again in 2009 and 10, it was around about 5%. It means there is no consistent rise in GDP growth rate because of worldwide phenomena of recession. It means this is wrong. Automatically this is neither 1 nor 2. And there is the option, there are the 4 options, only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 and nor 2. Now you are clear. If you have certain kinds of data information since 2000 to 2020, you can do that kinds of questions very easily. It means, my dear student, if you really like to go through in preliminary, you have to prepare database question, conceptual based question, and theory based question. I just now discuss only 3 questions, and now I will discuss 4th one, in which you will again realize that you should equipped with knowledge regarding economy. As I say, knowledge is the power. If you have quite information, knowledge, applications of GS economy, etc., then you can do very easily all questions. Next 4 question asking by UPSC in 2012 related to human development. As you know, multi-dimensional poverty index, multi-dimensional MPI, multi-dimensional poverty index, and the question were based on these MPI in place of HPI. What is the question? Now I spell it. The multinational poverty index developed by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative with UNDP support covers which of the following? Number first, deprivation of education. First statement, deprivation of education, deprivation of education, health, assets and services, health, assets and services, health, assets and services at household level, at household level. Second statement, that is purchasing power parity at national level, purchasing power parity at national level. And third statement, that is given by UPSC, extent of budget deficit and GDP growth rate at national level, extent of fiscal deficit and GDP growth rate at national level, and GDP growth rate at national level. Student, the questions like this can be easily solved with the help of rejection approach. What do you mean by rejection? MPI, multilateral poverty index, actually a deprivation index. It is very clear. It doesn't include fiscal deficit, GDP growth rate, etc. Now you are clear this is not the part of MPI, but you will confuse regarding purchasing power parity at national level. Just you clear what is the meaning of purchasing power parity at national level. Means capacity of our currency to purchase the goods and services at national level. But when we are talking about different index developed by UNDP, they never talk about the purchasing power parity at national level. They are talking at international level. It means this is also not the part of this one. Now consider the first statement. Deprivation of education, definitely it is. Health, sanitation, etc. and services related to household level. Definitely this is the part of MPI. It means this is right explanation. Sometime you are needed to use rejection approach, or where you can neglect certain points and finally reach at the conclusion, and somewhere you can follow selective approach where you will select the right response. Again in 2013 they ask a question, economic growth in country X will be necessarily have to be occur if there were certain option. What they are asking, in a country X the growth or GDP growth will necessarily occur if there are certain conditions satisfied. What they were? Number first, there is technical progress in the world economy. First the statement given, there is technical progress in the world economy. In this condition, is it necessary that our GDP growth rate will improve? I will explain this one. Second statement they given, there is capital formation in X country. There is capital formation in X country. Third option they are giving, that there is population growth in X country. There is population growth in X country. And fourth option they are giving, that the value of trade growth in world economy. The volume of trade growth, the volume of trade growth in the world economy. Now you are consider number first statement, technical progress in the world economy. If world economy technically improved, then definitely it will improve the output of world GDP. Suppose this is the output of world GDP. At same level of input, output is increasing Q to Q dash. Then definitely our growth rate should be increased. But it is not a necessary. Why? Just you find out which is the most appropriate answer out of these four one. A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which is most appropriate you have to find out. It can improve but not necessarily. It may be your economy is not getting the benefit of this technical progress of the global economy. Second point, there is capital formation in X country. This is directly related. If investment is increasing, capital formation is there, that will definitely increase the output of a X country. There is no confusion. Just to take the third, there is the population growth rate in the country. If population is increasing, per capita availability of resources are decreasing, it means it can't increase the GDP growth rate. Maybe if there the unutilized natural resources, increasing population are going to optimally utilize, in that case that can increase the growth rate. But in present situation, if the population will increase, that will not improve the growth rate of our economy. Certainly there will be the more consumption, less saving, less investment, less capital formation, less growth. And fourth point, the volume of trade growth in the world economy, if it is increasing, it can improve only when our export demand are increasing. It means this is near to right, this is also near to right, but exact right is this one. If these kinds of questions are asking where 2 and 3 response seems right, but one of them is most appropriate, and you have to reach with the help of exact explanation of the concept, means which phenomena directly influence the growth rate. Now you are clear, student, how you can cover your preliminary questions. I give you that kinds of information for further study. You can join my class. I am starting. If you are interested, then you can contact me with this number 971 or 9999992375. You contact me on this number. I will sort out your all query regarding coming preliminary 2020.